Ooh, welcome back to the Rewatchers Council Angel Edition, everybody. Ferris, we got the whole 2 second theme song in that time. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Everybody, we're going to be talking about season 1, episode 7, The Bachelor Party. Of course, joining me, two of the best council members anybody could ever ask. First of all, Brennan, Mystical Mar. Brennan, how you doing, pal?
Ready. Ready.
And a boy. Ferris Mathana, how are you, my friend?
Man, doing great, man. It's a live edition of Angel, baby.
A rare live edition. And of
Yeah.
course, for any of you guys watching afterwards, it's always the same thing, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They're all live.
They're all
They're all
live.
they're all live, but
Yes, they're all live.
you get it. Live to air this time. Now, Bachelor Party was original air date November 16th, 1999. Written by Tracy Stern. She'll only write one more episode, but she co-produced the first 7 episodes of the series. So this being the last one. She was a writer and producer on Desperate Housewives.
Ooh.
After this airs, I know you're probably a big fan of that.
It was a good show on ABC, man.
Did you watch that show?
I watched it on occasion.
All right. I could never watch it.
I do not watch that show.
No.
ABC has some good joints, man. Desperate Housewives, Revenge, you name it, they had it, man. They had some good stuff.
I was never a big ABC guy after I was a kid. I think in the day there was like I think Happy Days and stuff like that was on ABC.
Man, thank God it's Thursdays.
The Love Boat, the Love Boat was probably
TGIT was a thing, man. Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, and How to Get Away with Murder all on one day. So
this is a legit question. Has Grey's Anatomy been on your entire life? Pretty close.
No, yeah, pretty close. I think it's like what their 24th, 23rd season. I think I'm only older than Grey's Anatomy by like 3 years or 2 years. I think.
Unbelievable.
Feel old, Ferris.
Yeah. Grey's Anatomy has been there since the inception of Ferris.
Way back when.
4 years.
I have not seen more than a commercial.
I watch episodes of Grey's Anatomy. I've watched every medical drama or.
Not surprising.
I haven't seen all of them like all the way through, but I've watched them.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, some of them are not.
Are you a fan of any of the Chicago shows, Ferris? Trust me, your answer will inform my feelings about you for the rest of our lives.
I have dabbled in the Chicago world.
Awful.
Yeah.
Awful. All right. Directed, guys. It's directed by Davis Straighton from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. He would go and direct a couple more after this. He directs everything, I guess. Let's see. Dawson's Creek, Good Doctor, probably one of your favorite shows, Ferris. Star Trek Enterprise for you, Brennan. He's directed some of that. Heroes, Shield. He's a guy. He gets around. Gets some directing done. Now, special guest star alert, fellas. Carlos Chacot is not back on Angel, back in the Buffy universe. The season and 6 episodes removed. And being Ken, the family home leader. That's still the stupidest name ever. Family home leader from Anne. When the first episode of season 3 of Buffy. He was great in that. I think he's really fantastic as Richard, though. It's too bad he's only brought back for this one episode. I really compare him a lot with like the principals and stuff like that. A guy that should have been a best bad throughout an entire series. It would have been a lot of fun. He's super charming. Yeah, it would have been fantastic. Anyways, it's also strange that both these guys are in LA. Ken's in LA, Richard's in LA. They could be brothers. You know what? They could be twin brothers, and you never know. Except for the whole 2 different cut sort of, but half brothers.
Could be.
You can be twin. You can be half twin brothers, right? I don't know how genetics work.
I don't think that works.
Not in the demon world. Not in the demon world. Things get a little different now. On to the show. So, Cordelia is agreed to go out on a date with this douchey trading guy. I didn't know that trading was such a big thing in LA in the 90s. I thought it was a New York thing. But I guess there's like day traders or something. Is that a thing? With
Yes, day trading. Yes, day trading is a thing.
yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, so some reason she decides she's going to meet him at Angel's office. He gives a parentalish third degree to this clown here. Angel does. This guy is a typical Sunnydale sort of person that high school Cordelia would have wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets him out the door. Doyle gets sad, of course. Oh, he has this thing for an 18-year-old girl still, Doyle. And he starts going through Angel's books. And like a headshot of a woman falls out of it. Familiar to us, not so familiar to him. He goes on about how hot this, teenage girl is. I think Doyle has a type.
Mm-hmm.
And then figures out, that's Buffy. Better watch what he says. So he's gonna go apologize, but now a vision is hitting him, and some random person stuck in the vampire's nest, I guess. So they're gonna head out now. Somehow they know where this thing is. This vampire's nest. It's not like it'll just look like it was in a basement or a dungeon or something like that. Anyways, they get there. They start fighting. Angel's telling Doyle to demon up because it makes him stronger.
That's true. Yes.
So you could remember that for later. They end up dusting most of the vampires in the place. They get the guy out. Doyle says he's going to take him home. Or Angel's going to take him home. Doyle's going to go to the office. They didn't sweep the place though, Ferris. They left one rather mean looking guy behind. This guy's going to end up following one of them here.
Mm-hmm.
Cordy now is getting dropped off. I guess she had made some excuse about not feeling well. The guy keeps trying to get with her. The persistence. Thy name is douchebag.
Yep,
But
absolutely.
that vamp from the nest here followed Doyle. He shows up. The old stock guy runs off, bravely. Isn't that what they say in the Holy Grail? Bravely runs away.
Praise Sir Robin.
The vampire grabs Cordy, but out comes Doyle here from the office, toting a crossbow. Everyone's, the crossbow's getting a lot of work.
Shout out to the crossbow man. Very, very durable, very reliable.
Very hard to use.
And very hard to hide. It's not something that you can put inside your jacket. It's not as elegant as like a pistol or a knife.
Yes.
It's kind of clunky. Anyways, he shoots the vampire in the foot, just so he won't hit Cordelia. We're guessing maybe he just has bad aim. Cordy gets thrown away. Doyle and fight a little bit here. He doesn't vamp out. He manages to grab that bolt. I think they're called crossbow bolt.
Yes,
they're not like an arrow.
Yeah.
I guess, and dust the old bad guy here. Cordy seems impressed.
Mignon, messieurs. Comment ça va?
Pretty close. Ça va bien, Monsieur Christensen. Et toi? Very good, very good. Now,
we also teach French on this program as well.
There you go. You know what? It's an international show first. So we're not just talking America. We're not just talking certain parts of Canada. We're global, worldwide. Yes. Yeah. So we just do our best. Now
we used to have a stronghold in Brazil, but not anymore.
You can still say it. We have a dusty old studio there, if I remember right.
Yes.
Just in case. Now, Corey telling Angel that she might not be into the superficial type anymore. She's a changed lady. Yep. Now in her advanced age
of 19.
Yeah, almost 19. She thinks maybe Doyle's earned a little thank you gesture. Maybe his creepiness is paying off for him. But of course, as soon as something goes Doyle's way, he gets a little bit of a snag here, fellas. When Cordelia finds out his name is Francis. That isn't the bad part, I guess, about this. The bad part is he's married.
Yep.
Also, his wife named Harry.
Dun dun dun.
So they focus a lot on how Doyle's name is Francis, and it's really like his middle name, Francis. They never once mention anything about her name being Harry. What's
Yeah.
more? What's more odd?
Yeah, her being named Harry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyways, she's also. Poor Doyle brought a man with her. His name's Richard. Friendly fella. I don't know what you guys think about him, but I thought he was a pretty nice guy. Of course, at first he's going to mistake Angel for Doyle. You know, he wants to think a little higher of what we find out is about to be his bride to be and stuff like that. Nope. The other one, the smaller Irish guy, that's the one. Anyways, they want to get married, but unfortunately, somehow they've been split apart for a while. Never actually filed the divorce papers, so she serves him the papers here, leaves it with him. You know, poor Doyle. He's about to become a newly divorced man. But he explains about him and Harry to Angel here. They got married before 20, back when it was cool to get married as teenagers, I guess.
Yeah.
They did the old love hard, fought hard thing. I was going to say a typical Irish style wedding, I guess you could say. But she left him when he found out he was half demon, which doesn't seem cool at all, if you know. But even he didn't even know he was a demon until he was 21. We find that out. He didn't know his dad. He didn't know his full demon dad. He says in the long run, it's good that they split up. He says that Richard can give her a good life, he feels. And he might be able to do it as well. Angel says that Richard just seems a little bit. Then Doyle just jumps on it, saying he knew he was no good, and he wants Angel to follow him here. He wants, they might be splitting up now, him and Harry, but he still has that protective instinct in him here, Doyle. So Angel's going to do that. He does it from the rooftops. Another throwback to the old Batman style Angel we had in the first couple episodes. He should have used his grappling hook and stuff like that too. That would have been cool.
He does wear a long black trench coat. He could have gadgets.
You very well could have gadgets. Could have what is it? Angel bombs or something like that. Angel shark repellent. That could come in handy at some
Angel
point.
credit card.
Okay.
No, that's too far.
What are you doing, Ferris? This is a family show. Ridiculous.
We can't mention that film.
Okay. All right. Now, so he notices Richard taking a package from a man in a car in a kind of dark alley, maybe. I don't know if that's supposed to be a road, but they're
very shifty
at the time. It's not this. You know what, guys? I'm looking at this from a rooftop. This isn't cool. And but just goes to a restaurant. Angel's gonna follow him in here. We see Harry's there with him though. Richard goes to get some wine, morphs into a demon. So Doyle may be onto something here. Goes and grabs a knife, holds outstretched towards her. Then Angel jumps in through the window, starts hitting him. Harry's yelling at him to stop. It's like, whoa. She knows he's a demon, and that he only had the knife because he was going to cut open these box strings from all these boxes she got for the honeymoon things that she purchased earlier. Who carries a knife like this? Ridiculous. Isn't that the first thing you learn? How to properly run with scissors and stuff. You always hold the knife down. Today on the learning corner of Rewatchers Council, kids, especially when you're approaching a loved one, always hold the knife down.
Yes.
Never out.
Never out.
And especially don't do that on stairs. Let's just, public service from here. All of us, especially Brennan at the Rewatchers Council. Now, the package now, turns out that was for the restaurant. Somehow this restaurant serves quail tongues. Is that a thing?
Well, not in the real world, but in the demon world, apparently it's highly illegal.
Gee whiz. I didn't even. Where are you going to get quail tongue market. Anyways,
Also,
uh,
too, aren't quails are pretty small?
yeah,
Wouldn't their tongues be tiny?
they're little chickens. They're
Yeah.
little delicious chickens. You know, any kind of small tongue would be gross. You know what I mean? Any kind
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's people that like beef tongue for whatever reason. I don't get it. Quail tongue be like rice or something like that. Anyways, Harry's pissed at Doyle now. Richard wants to speak up for him. Harry's starting explaining to Richard and his family are a peaceful Anamovic tribe, and whatever Anamovic means. They're totally assimilated to our ways and cultures. And then we hear that Harry's an ethnodemonologist, which is a class you'd figure you could get at UC Sunnydale or something like that. Like, I don't know why
All made up.
Buffy wouldn't be taking that. Anyways, Angel's now confused. Harry starts cutting him off again. Tells him when Doyle changed, she did freak out, but she realized that there's a whole other world for her to explore. There's a whole new world, Ferris. A whole fantastic. However it goes, you know what I mean.
Point of view.
That's right. She wanted to learn more about him with him, but he wouldn't accept himself, and he became angry and a real bitch to live with, if you know what I mean. But you could totally see that Doyle would be, he would never be able to accept himself. Can't accept himself to this day. Doesn't like it. So when Doyle finds out the news, he thinks that the nice guy bit is an act, and he's working a spell over Angel. Reads the Animorphs gave up their orthodox teachings and language over a century ago, guys. And then Doyle realizes that Harry left him because of who he is, not what he is, guys. That's a big lesson in that. So he signs the papers. They come by that next day. They thank him. Harry goes to the other room to make copies. I don't know how many legal documents.
Quail eggs are delicious. Tongue, maybe not.
Quail itself is delicious. I imagine if you're
you guys are eating quail? What is this?
You get it at what is that stupid place in Las Vegas with the nights and stuff like that? I believe you eat quail there. It's just a small chicken.
I've never ever eaten quail in my life.
Boy,
why would I eat a small chicken? I'll just get chicken.
Well, this way you can eat the whole chicken.
I can eat a whole chicken by myself.
Oh boy, that's not something to brag about here, Ferris.
You ever been to Costco get the rotisserie chicken, Brennan? You ever been there?
Eat the whole thing?
Oh yes,
I like
it
eat the
very
whole
much.
chicken. I smashed that shit.
All right. So so they go to sign they get the paper, wants to make copies. I don't know why Angel would have legal size paper there or whatever, but anyways, Doyle and Richard are talking, and Harry tells Cordy, of course, Richard's plan is to invite Doyle to the bachelor party. That would be my worst nightmare. Having to hang out with
the ex-husband.
anything to do with an ex of mine. Never mind, go to her future husband's bachelor party. But then Harry's also talking to Cordelia, and she doesn't know anybody in this town for some reason. I don't know if she and Doyle live somewhere else, but she doesn't know anybody. But why don't you come down to the bachelorette thing that they're having? So Cordelia knows nobody either, I guess. So she just says she would love to do that. Anyways, we don't see Doyle's answer whether he'd go or not, but we do get to see Richard and his this lovely family in their lovely little suburban home making bachelor party plans. Who makes bachelor party plans with their mom? Ferris, did you do that?
No, I would never do that.
No, I wouldn't do it either. Anyways, she is the one who suggests a stripper for some reason. Richard hopes that Doyle doesn't think poorly if they do. He tells them that Doyle's very sweet and that they'll all enjoy him. And then we start getting the itinerary here, guys. What's going to happen at nice Richard's bachelor party? Well, there's going to be drinking. There's going to be food. There's going to be drinking.
Oh, there's definitely going to be food.
There's going to be strippers. There's
going to be...
A single one.
There's going to be a stripper. There's going to be darts. There's also, of course, the ritual eating of the first husband's brains.
Yep, absolutely.
And charades, fellas. And then one of his cousins or brothers or something like that isn't too fond of the charades idea. So, well, I think it's a pretty basic bachelor party, to tell you the truth. Save the charades. Now, the bachelor party's all starting. Doyle comes in. He's a little unaware what's actually going to happen. For some reason, he decided to bring Angel with him. Needed a wingman at his ex-wife's husband's bachelor party. So Richard introduces Doyle to everybody. They're all surprised that Angel's there as well. Richard tells everyone that this night, as much Doyle's as it is his. Okay, Richard's same thing. I don't know if I just easier just call them cousins or whatever for now or whatever. Anyways, they start talking in their own demonic language. That one that was supposed to be all gone by the wayside 100 years ago. Angel seems to notice, but doesn't decide to say anything. Richard and Doyle gonna toast Harry now. He wants to know about their time together for whatever reason. Then we go and cut to the house. Harry's saying it became a nightmare. She says she used to like how he would take charge. And to Cordy's bewilderment, she never thought Doyle was like that. But it's
who are you describing? You're not describing the Doyle I know.
Yeah. No. Especially, she doesn't like. She never liked feeling like one of his students, one of his third grade students, Harris. And the thought of Doyle being a teacher starting to freak Cordelia. I think it freaks everybody out. I think this is one thing that was never earned in this show. This is definitely not earned at all.
A lot of Doyle backstory exposition.
Cordelia asked,
but it makes sense though, Rob. But it makes sense because she's, Cordelia's asking his ex-wife about him. So this exposition makes sense. It's not forced. It makes perfect sense, and we get it.
It's fine. I just don't see how Doyle being a teacher is earned. I would say Doyle not being a professor.
We don't know, man. Sometimes the best teachers are like Doyle.
Well, you're talking like Dead Poet Society or something like that. Something you're just a relatable teacher. What I do like is that Cordy thought that maybe he was held back, and this whole teacher thing was a cover story.
That too.
Yeah. Held back all the way from third grade. So anyways, they met when Doyle was volunteering at a food bank as well. So listen to all these good things that Doyle did. When did he become the Doyle we've come to know? Anyways, we go back to the restaurant. Angel just keeps noticing Richard's family's watching him. He's the one guy who's out of place. I don't blame them at all for watching. Richard feels jealous that Doyle was her first. All this isn't good.
It's kind of creepy, man. It's just kind of creepy.
I like you, Richard, but come on, pal. She says, he'll always love her and stuff like that. He says he can make, Harry, but he really wants Doyle's blessing. That's what it comes down to. But the strippers arrived, guys. So he's taken away. Angel then watches the two bros. Okay, I don't know. We're not too interested in the stripper. They head out, so he's going to go follow them. Follows them upstairs to an office. You see Richard's, I guess it's his uncle.
Father, uncle.
Yeah, he's speaking of blood incantation. This can't be good. So he dips out, decides to call Cordelia. Just steps away. It's not like he goes downstairs or anything like that. He goes mere steps away from all this is happening to try and give her a call. We find out that she's in the valley here. The 818 area code or something like that. He wants to talk with Harry. He wants a translation of what these guys were saying. Somehow he's remembered what they said and can speak it perfectly. She says she's going to check the family library. Then hangs up. This is, the internet wasn't as popular back then as it is today. I'm sure you can look up Eratuskin just on the old internet these days. If it wasn't a made-up language, you know what I mean. But anyways, one of the guys are there though. He starts picking a fight with Angel. Then he's going to get jumped in on by 3 other guys.
You think she has a box of encyclopedias?
I think there's a few. Well, lots of all these guys have books of the yin yang, even Angel. Yeah. So they beat him up and then they throw him out like a wood slat window. So earlier, Angel just jumps through a window in the restaurant. They talk about how expensive it is or whatever. And then just up the stairs, it's just wood slats. There's no window at all, just wood slats.
Well, they spend all their money on the nice windows downstairs.
That's what I'm saying. Split the difference, Ferris.
Yeah.
Just get nice windows. You don't need to get the best windows down there and just have.
Well, you know what? You're making a restaurant. You get the best.
This is California, though. This is California. But
exactly.
It's also the back alley.
Exactly, man. So appearances matter. So you got to get the best.
I guess you're right. So, anyways, the stripper leaves. Richard again asks Doyle. Says he wishes he could have made Harry happy, but now he has the chance to not get in her way. Gives his blessing to Richard, gives him a big hug, and announces the consent to everyone, who all toast him again. Then they lock him up in a box.
Like Harry Houdini.
Yeah. He tells him he appreciates his sacrifice. Of course, only his head. You know what I first thought about it? I first thought it was like a Dalek. It almost looked like a Dalek.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Well, it isn't. Anyways, they there's these 4 Dune guys. They they line up. The transformations to these demons is clunky. Let's just say that it does not look good at all when the 4 of them are there, and then just the way they change over to those red faces and stuff like that, not good. It's gonna happen the same way with Angel when Angel vamps up in a bit too. It looks terrible. And this is probably my favorite episode of Angel so far, and just that special effect kind of just takes me out of it. Just I don't know. Maybe I'm being nitpicky. Anyways. Doyle's gets barely touched with a they go and they're gonna give him a little thing to knock him out because they don't want him to be in any pain when his brain is about to get eaten here. And then the guy goes over with a syringe. Does he even nick him? He gets nicked. He doesn't.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was like, ding,
oh, there you go. Your entire head's numb now.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know the trick? And I guess there's no feeling in the brain or whatever, so he could have just ate his brain. He wouldn't have felt it. I guess he would have felt the skull getting opened up.
He was gonna feel them cutting it open.
Yeah, that was gonna be the whole thing. Now Harry has found the translation, and it turns out it's about eating past loves. That's not good. She brings it up to the other ladies. Richard's aunt lets it slip how it's certainly not going to eat her ex's brains and stuff like that. Unprompted, mind you. She never even started asking about it.
What a chatty Cathy that woman is.
Yeah. Oh boy. Put it in an Prudy. She's gonna spill the beans about it. I said her name is true. I don't know if it actually is. Now, Harry and Cordy are now gonna take off. Richard tells Doyle Harry's gonna understand since she loves and accepts his culture. Cousin now is gonna get into trouble for leaving a shrimp fork to eat poor Doyle's brains with when
Well, good point. Why? Like the brain is the shrimp. Why is it here? Why is it here, Jerry?
You get a soup spoon. Come on. Yeah. I guess it's like a warm pudding, perhaps. You know what I mean? A little, maybe less tasty. But there's been some bad. I'm not a big fan of rice pudding. Maybe it's like rice. Anyways, Richard's going to apologize. He's fuzzy on the details since it's been centuries since and one of the clan members has last married a divorcee. And then the uncle gives the exposition now about how it's ingesting the love he and Harry shared so that, they can have a love that's whole and blah, 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 blah. Then he tells everyone that, don't worry, it's only Richard who's going to be doing the whole brain eating here. Everyone's just watching, maybe getting a little hungry. He was worried that Doyle wants to back out now, and Doyle's like, yeah, he's going to back out. He takes back his blessing. This makes Richard even question whether or not he should eat these brains.
Yes,
blessings.
Don't eat them. Yeah, these are contaminated Liar brains.
Well, doesn't matter. The uncle tells him that there's a no takey backy rule.
That's
and
true.
that's set in stone. He should apologize, so he does. He's now honored to eat them. Angel's finally getting up. This is where the poor vamp effect takes place. Not great. Richards offered the first cut, but Angel blasts the door in. Now, we're going to see Doyle eventually get onto his demon side here, guys. But why wouldn't he have done this before? He's all spiny. So the least he could do, like if someone's trying to cut his head open, is like get like maybe stub their hand on one of his spikes or something like that. A little bit of fight back would have been appreciated, I think. But Angel's there. He busts the door open, just like you see in all the beginning of every Angel episode these days. So the guy who started the fight is now upset that Doyle brought a vampire. Here comes the fighting. Angel versus a bunch of people. He's going to kick that sword away from Richard's sword or knife. It's a big blade, anyways. Doyle keeps rolling around here, which is pretty fun with the little box on wheels. Finally, a latch is going to open. This is where he turns demon, guys. He's going to join the fight. Headbutts the uncle with his spiny face. And that felt satisfying.
Yes.
Sure. Harry and Cordy are going to show up now. Stop all the foolishness. Richard tells her the story, and the party's for guys only, which was very good. She knows what's happening here. Cordy tells them that they shouldn't eat brains.
Yes.
I take that as a general rule.
I don't think you should. Yes,
that's good advice.
Good advice.
Don't eat another person's brains. I don't care whose party it is. Doyle's going to get up now, and this is when Cordy starts pummeling him with a platter, which was so good. I like that so much. Angel stops her, and then she sees regular face Doyle. She never put the two together. No.
What is Doyle? Do we know what Doyle is? I don't know what Doyle is. Is he like what is he?
What kind of demon he is?
Yeah. What is he?
Just wait.
Okay.
And I think he gets more explained here in a bit. Anyways, they're wondering what they did to him. Harry asked Richard if he was honestly going to eat Doyle's brains, and they were going to start their lives together on a lie. I don't know if she's as much upset about the brain eating as about the not telling her the truth part. Probably a little bit of both, to tell you the truth. Anyways, Richard's going to explain about the ancient teachings here. She asked when did they start bothering with those. Yeah.
Can we go past the part with the funniest part where he's like, baby, the stripper wasn't my idea. Because he's thinking that she's mad about the stripper, and she's like, no, not the stripper. Wait, there's a stripper?
Yes, he gave away too much.
Yeah, he's maybe a little excited here and stuff like that. But she doesn't want the thing to start with the lie, and he's giving her the whole truth here.
Yes.
So good for Richard. Richard.
This is telling her the truth.
He could have been a good man. If she wasn't a divorcee, this would have happened. They would have had a very good life together, I feel. You know what I mean? Anyways, his uncle's starting to pipe up. She's going to put him in his place. Talks about how he's always on watching television, all this other stuff. She thinks the old practices are barbaric. Then she gets called a racist for it. Richard says that the custom isn't kept and stuff like that. They won't consent to the message.
Hearing what you guys are reviewing, how is this show popular? I've never seen an episode.
It grows into the show.
Yes.
They had a meeting or whatever where they were like they wanted to do more enemy of the week style stuff instead of like Buffy, which was like throughout the entire like have one common enemy or whatever plus the enemies of the week and stuff like that. So they're going to grow into the show, even though they had a fully fleshed out protagonist.
Yes.
They still had to grow into the show. Anyways, they're not going to consent to this marriage if they can't do the old things or whatever. So she then walks out, but not before warning Doyle if she's going to say anything. She's going to eat her brains and stuff like that. Poor Doyle. She's getting brain-eating threats left and right here. The gang's all going to leave now. Richard's consoled by asking who needs a woman whose legs only bend one way.
Knees.
Yeah. I've thought about that too. You know what? Who really needs a woman if their knees only bend one way? So we go to the office. Cordy mentions how Doyle's so hung up on Harry. Decides she's going to go do some cheering up. So asks if he's going to be a full-time loser pining guy. Yeah, going to be a pining guy because they already have an angel, and Angel's clothes just fit better. So poor Doyle's taking shots and then tells him to let it go. She tells him nice guys don't always finish last, and if she thinks it, she says it, as you will know, Brendan Moore.
Mm-hmm.
What is that from Earshot? Is that what she said? Anyways, he feels better, but starts getting a vision, guys, of a familiar looking to us blonde girl. He recently saw in a photograph. So that ends that episode and starts setting up crossover week next time on the Rewatchers Council. Both Buffy and Angel will have guest appearances on each other's show. The next Angel episode is called I Will Remember You. Of the two, probably the much poorer episode. But we will talk about that next time on Rewatchers Council. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, watching, joining us. Ryan, don't worry about don't worry about how the show starts. Worry about how it goes along. It gets much better. Brennan, thanks, buddy. Can you tell everybody where they'll find you on the good old internet?
You can find me on Blue Sky at brandonmoore.bluesky.social.
Mm-hmm.
Apple, Spotify, and YouTube at Page Turners They Were Not.
Very good. Ferris, how about you, dude?
You can find me here, guys, every Friday, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday on the Rewatchers Council series. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock Pacific, Captain America, the First Avenger, as we continue our Marvel's Rewatchers Council series. Usually today, also at 3 o'clock, it would be Good Friends, Better Rivals on our sports channel, but we didn't have an episode this week. That's why we're doing this live.
We can do this all day, guys.
Yes.
We can do this all day. Well, I only do the Rewatchers Councils for Angel and Buffy, but this weekend I'll be talking with our pal Danny over on LGRN After Snark. We'll be talking Thunderbolts. We'll be talking maybe some more Marvel news. See what else is going on here in the world. We'll just talk whenever we want. And that's this weekend, 2:30 Central Time, right here on the Let's Get Ready Network. Now, we'll also be doing speaking of Ryan Christensen, we'll be doing an edition of Playoff Beards here very soon. Just have to talk to him about when, as the Stanley Cup Finals has been set, and it's a rematch, just like Rocky 2, guys. Except for this one, I don't care who wins, as long as there's plenty of violence. That's all I care about.
Well, unfortunately, there's no Apollo Creed. It's just 2 Rockies.
Yeah, they're two worse. No, then Rocky, you want Rocky to win.
No.
Oh, boy. You wanted Apollo Creed to win?
Yep.
Oh, my God. They're cheering for the favorites. That's fair as well done. So, we'll be discussing that. That'll be on the Let's Get Ready Network sports channel. So, until then, everybody, until next week, thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Ferris. Thank you. We will talk to you all next time.
Bye.